Take me to the bunny ranch. People dying. Kill me in the packing house. Even you have...
Hey! Welcome back to the Bunny Ears Podcast. I am Jonathan Taylor Thomas, once again your host. We have a very special guest this week. I think sometimes I kind of try to draw this section out, but I think I'm just going to say it right now. It's Mr. Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah,
for real. This isn't you making believe you are someone else.
I'm throwing my voice
because I asked what was the Devon Sawa. I was like, was Devon Sawa on the show? I do know Mr. Sawa. I see him at the gym often. He is
ripped.
He is maybe in the best shape of anyone I've ever seen.
He's the best shape of my life.
I follow him around the gym and do. It's like that Seinfeld episode where I follow him around the gym and try and do.
It's whatever you're doing. I wanted to.
Right. But no. Yeah, it's really me. It's really Jerry O'Connell. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, no. It's an honor to have you
As
here.
They say in talk radio, first time, long time.
Yeah, first time, long time. All right, there you go. Yeah. So
we actually have a history together. We went to the same school.
I was going to bring that up.
Sure.
I wanted to bring it up right away too. We went to professional children's school. PCS.
You were not. I went there for high school. You were.
I was
not in high school.
I was in 6th or 7th grade.
So we didn't really socialize. We were.
I mean, it'd be weird if you were hanging out with a 6th grader when you were 17.
100%.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
You did have older siblings, but even they were too young for me.
Mm-hmm.
They were
really.
Well, I mean, they were.
They were
I
grades
think
below
one of your
you.
siblings was in
How
high
old
school.
are you?
I'm 45.
Wow, geez.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. No,
I know. It's
you
terrible.
look great. You look great.
Oh, it's so crazy. I mean, it's just like everything breaks down at this point.
Yeah.
It's just over.
Yeah. How are your movements?
Limited.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Limited.
Just even coming here, like bending down to pet your cat. It's limiting. No, we went to school at the same time. I remember because
I remember your headshot on the wall because this school had fucking headshots on the wall.
I actually, I don't know how your experience was at professional children's school. I had a really fun time there.
I had a good time when I hit high school. I had a really good time there.
If you can imagine, it does give a high school type experience to
kids that are on the road all the time.
I mean, listen, you probably would not have had a high school experience if it not for professional children's school.
I had actually quit acting at that point. So,
really?
Yeah. I quit when I was 14. So, So I actually went to school every day. But I mean, PCS, for people who are listening, it was a professional children's school, which was none of the above.
It's on 60th between 9th and 10th. There were some professionals there. There were ballet dancers,
Juilliard musicians who all happened to be Asian, usually from communist countries.
You could always tell because the violinists always had that hickey on their necks, if you recall from playing violin hours and
hours at a time.
Their lifetime. Your cat.
My cat is talkative right now.
What's going on,
dude? Come here, dude. Mama's not here. Mama's not here. She's on her way home. Yes. His name is Dude. Yeah, he's a Toiger.
What else? And what else about school? I really enjoyed it. I found the people who went there to be very attractive.
Yes, that I will give it that. Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of.
I do have an affinity to ballet dancers still to this day.
Yes, same.
And I can pick them out from literally from 100 yards out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you spend much time in New York still, but you always see them on the train going up to
Lincoln Center.
Mm-hmm. And I had a really fun experience there.
Yeah, no, I'm still notorious at the SAB dorms. Yeah. Yeah, I ran into a young SAB chick probably about a couple years ago. She was 22, and she was like, "Oh no, we still talk about you at the dorms." I was like, "That was 10, 15 years ago." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we still know Mack stories."
I am terrible at staying in touch with people from school. I'm not on Facebook, so I think that has a lot to do with it.
Right? I don't know. Facebook is seems like it's a a high school reunion, a constant high school reunion.
You know what's funny is if you watch Dateline ever. Whenever a couple's in a relationship and then someone in the relationship starts dating an ex, it's through Facebook. They meet up again through Facebook, and then they plot to kill the spouse that they're married to.
Yeah.
And
I think I read that somewhere. Yeah.
it's a whole thing. I was on Facebook for an hour.
Really?
And yeah, and someone
I just played Battleship or something like that. Hold on, I'm gonna let the cat in the bedroom. He's not gonna shut up until I open the door. Hold on, I'll be right back. Go. Actually, keep on talking.
No, I'm gonna rip about your cat here.
Yeah, go for it.
We have a tiger cat, right? That's what we call it.
Yeah.
A tiger cat who is losing his mind. Macaulay's just opened a bedroom door, and all the animals scatter toward it.
I know they hate strangers.
There's some sort of there's something going on in there.
I know. I thought they'd love to meet Jerry O'Connell, but
let me
no,
just
they
paint the
just
scene
want the
for
fuck out
everybody
of here.
I mean, you are a real cat person. You actually have a cat tower. You have that.
I have another one right behind you.
You have
too.
that carpeted cat tower.
No, you should see that thing in the corner, that space age looking thing. Yeah, that's the kitty litter box over there.
What is that?
It's a self-cleaning
explain
dome.
it to people. It's like a pod from 2001, A Space Odyssey, and that's where the cat shits and pisses.
Oh, yep, both of them.
And what does it do?
It spins around, cleans it, like after about 6 minutes after they go. It has a little sensor in it, and it'll spin around, get rid of their stuff, and then there's a drawer at the bottom where you can kind of take all their droppings.
Look, I know this is not Cat Ears podcast, but we got to talk cats for a second. The bane of my existence is cleaning the shit out of my cat litter box.
This thing is actually kind of amazing.
Because my cat I have a very fat cat who takes huge dumps, Macaulay. I mean, like, huge. And the second, there's something about cat shit, you just smell it immediately.
Listen, there was two things I had to tell my lady when we got the first cat was, look, he's adorable, he talks a lot, and also there's concentrated evil coming out of his ass. Like, that's
Why
like,
does
yeah,
cat
it's just
shit
like
smells so bad.
It's just like, and look, he's actually very diligent. He buries his stuff for like an hour, like, but still, you can still feel it. You can feel it like in your sinuses for like an hour afterward. It's kind of amazing. Well, that's why we got the little space age pod. My lady, she's cat crazy. She never had a cat before, and now she researches like, which cat climbers to do and which space age pods so that they can shit in and stuff.
No,
you should see she has an obstacle course in the guest bedroom. It's kind of amazing. I'm sure the guests love it
after the show.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who will not come to our house because we have cats. My wife and I.
Is it more of like an allergy kind of thing? Because I've had that before.
I think it's an allergy thing. I mean, it doesn't.
Some people just don't like cats.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't.
I know. Mine are like fluffy and cute. Like I said, I have one that's an angel, and the other one
very
is just
personable. Didn't run under a bed when I walked in here.
Yeah.
Checked
Well,
me out.
the other one, I think he wants to check if his mommy's here. And,
listen. I wanted to talk about the hour I was on Facebook.
Oh yes. Sorry. Yeah.
I joined Facebook. This is when everybody was doing it. I don't know, 2005. Does that ring a bell?
Sure, that seems about right.
And
you're just doing Farmville the whole time?
Someone from that high school that we went to, professional children's school, who I never really liked. I just didn't like this person. I remember it was a weird situation because this person was a little older than me, and they were like one of these people that, and this is my problem, not their problem, but always made me feel like I wasn't like worthy to be in their presence, or like it always sounded like they were usually going to someone's apartment and doing something that sounded like so much fun.
And you were not invited.
And I was not there.
Yes.
But I would hear about it. And
who's rubbing it in? Yeah.
The second I joined Facebook and it was like, point out where you went to school and all that stuff. And I clicked on that. This person immediately wrote me like a long, like, I've been waiting for you to come on here. I've been looking for it.
Did they apologize?
No, there was no apology.
I didn't think so.
By the way, they didn't do anything wrong. It was just in my weird, resentment-filled head that hates everyone. And I immediately logged off of Facebook. I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah, this seems like the entire experience all in 1 hour.
That was my introduction. That was literally like, I logged on, I hit click. I was about to close the computer, and then I heard like a notification, and that was the notification. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
No, I think I'm good.
I don't want to go down this road.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is like during like the whole like last presidential election, I was so glad like no Russian bots could like get in touch with me.
Yeah, getting a little worm in your ear or anything.
I don't really read Twitter anymore. It's too weird on there. It's just It's just a weird place,
Yeah. I do social media professionally, really. I just don't do it like on a personal level. I'm not looking to reconnect with high school mates. I'm talking about the website and the podcast and stuff.
Did you ever walk past our old high school?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
What are your emotions when you walk past there?
I guess there's a certain amount of wistfulness and nostalgia that kind of comes back, but at the same time, I don't linger on it either.
That's very healthy of you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Well, so I just don't. I just avoid the neighborhood.
I walk
because I used to live right next door.
Right. No, you lived in that
124. It was right next door.
That apartment building.
Yeah.
Where the doorman's name was
Oh,
Otis.
There was Otis, yes.
Yeah.
He was the older gentleman.
Yeah.
And there was Alan, and there's I remember my guys, Nelson. And yeah,
Would you party there after school? Like
yeah.
When
Once it was like high school time, stuff like that. Of course, it was right.
You lived
it was
right there.
next door. Because the school, you could sign in if you were late, because usually people were working and stuff like that. Like, you could sign in like, I have an audition. That's why I showed up late. No. I would always write traffic. Literally one door down.
Elevator.
Like, oh god, that traffic was killer.
Traffic.
Yeah.
I had mixed emotions when I walked past there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like I think
You said you had a good time there, though.
I had a good time, but I think everyone's sort of insecure when they're in high school, and it's like you don't quite know how to deal with it, and it's funny for me having kids now because I really recognize insecurities with my kids now.
You're starting to see them,
Yeah, and I really make fun of them for it. No,
just really
I see that opening and I go for it, and it's for their benefit. I'm making them strong.
You're just making them strong. How old are your kids? How many do you have?
I have 2 children who are both 10 now.
They're both. Oh, so you got twins?
Twin girls.
Girls. Jeez.
They yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, I'm sure it is.
They are not professional actors. They are in drama at school. This is where I get rude on bunny ears. One is very good at acting, and one just does not have it.
Just doesn't have it.
She just doesn't have it. I mean, it's really. And I'll tell you another funny thing. Listen, we actually have a little bit in common. I was also a child actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were a chubby child actor.
Whoa, easy. I was husky, Macaulay. Easy, buddy. We're just meeting each other here.
I know. Sorry. I didn't realize it was still touchy.
We're getting close.
I didn't realize that was still a soft spot for you.
No. It's just those feelings of me walking down 60 at the front of our old school are all coming back, man.
You look great. All right, there you go.
I gotta go follow around Devin Sawa around the gym now.
You should have asked Devin Sawa. You should have asked Devin how it was to be on the show before you got on.
Be hot. It's amazing how quickly I turn into a stage parent when my children have an audition. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you said they weren't child actors. Now you're saying they're auditioning.
Well, for their school productions.
Got you. Like Fiddler on the Roof or something?
There's no money in that. I can't, turn a profit from...
Yet.
From...
Don't rule it out yet, bro.
But it's...
those are money makers right there.
It's a really funny...
Or at least one of them is.
But it's funny, prepping them for auditions,
What kind of stuff are they doing? Are they doing like I said, like Fiddler on the Roof or something like that?
Right now, they're doing Into the Woods. So, for example,
they sing.
I look not well. I'm so sorry.
Not well for a child.
Oh, gosh, I'm sure they're gonna come back from school and be like, "We listened to you on bunny ears. You're a monster. I hate you. I'm gonna vape now.
Yeah, time to vape
just to show you vape." Go out with boys and send nude photos of myself.
They'll Google you.
They have not done that, everyone. I'm just saying.
They'll look you up on
problems.
Facebook.
Those are problems that are coming. It is funny how I, because much like you, I auditioned as a kid, and I can't believe I'm saying this. You'll never hear me say this on any other podcast, I swear. But I had it as a kid. It's funny. I still stay in touch with Rob Reiner, who directed Stand By Me, which I was one of the 4 boys, as you said.
He's the chubby one.
Whoa.
No, he's husky.
Thank you.
Big boned.
Oh, thank you.
Baby chub.
I still talk to Rob Reiner to this day, and he's like, "Man, I'll never forget when you came into that room, how loose you were, and it was really your when we met you in that audition room, and
you
we
were
saw
relaxed.
How sorry?
You were relaxed.
Yeah, I just
No, you had it.
I just had it, you know?
And I lost it.
Right, always. Looking for it ever
Join
since.
the club, brother.
And,
you can go to my group therapy sessions. It's me, JTT. You know, you can
I will
come
be
on
there.
over. Peter Billingsley.
But, I see Peter around. Do you know him at all?
I've not had the pleasure.
Oh,
no.
you should. He's a funny dude, man.
That's what I hear. I hear he's actually very, very pleasant.
But it's just funny how one of my kids just has no interest in it whatsoever. And what's funny is that there's no forcing her. Like when I'm going over auditions with her, I'm like, hey, when you come in and you say this line, like you're looking for Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood, I'm like, and so they're just reading the line. I'm like, hey, go into the audience where the auditioners are and look like under their papers and stuff and go, Little Red Riding, like incorporate them, like have some fun with it. And my one daughter who does not have it, was like, well, why would I do that? It just says, just say, you know, where's Little Red Riding Hood? And I was like, well, we're trying to incorporate everyone. We're trying to have a good time here. And she was like, well, I'm not doing that. It doesn't say that in the script, and I'm not doing that. And it's just so, it's amazing how much I then grab her and I say, we need this money. You go out and do this.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I need this. I'm not paying for your college. This is on you.
But it's super cute. I mean, it's really fun.
Yeah. Does it ping
I'm-
you in a certain way? You know, yeah.
You know what it pings me at is it's like something recently came up for me, and you don't have kids, right?
No, not yet.
So it's going to come up for you when you have kids.
Mine are going to be doctors and lawyers. Fuck that.
No, I know that, but I'm telling you, we become almost like, and you might not agree with this, but I became like a professional auditioner, you know? I mean, because all acting is still to this day. I mean, here I am, I'm 45. I still go on auditions I mean, that's it. And they sort of make their decision pretty much. I mean, it's almost like dating on Tinder or something. Pretty much immediately when that person walks into Starbucks, you're like, okay, this is going to go
Swipe right.
this is going to go to a second date or not.
Yeah.
And
You ever been on the other side of casting, like that kind of stuff? Like,
a little bit.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where I'm always kind of surprised because your insecurities will kind of think that like when you go in there that like as soon as you walk out they're making fun of you or something like that. And I was like, you know, and it was one of those things where I was actually surprised at how respectful everyone is.
Yeah,
which is funny because like I said, I think it's my insecurity showing. You know,
it's funny. Auditioning really is just making something completely unnatural, which is walking into a room with a group of people who are all staring at you to do something. Like
Act natural.
In,
you know,
in any other situation, you can hide in a corner of a bar, you can go to a party and like not even go inside. You can hang outside and smoke cigarettes. Like there's ways to like not be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And it's to act natural with vulnerability while being the center of everyone's attention. It's
While
a
being
crazy,
actively judged as well.
it's crazy. And
That's why I don't like it. That's why I don't do it.
do you not act at all
No,
anymore?
not really. I mean, I do gigs every once in a while, but generally speaking, like, no, I'm off the circuit. I'm good. I made my fortune. I'm done.
That's a bummer. I mean, because I'm sure
I enjoy the work. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to. I'm actually terrible at auditioning. That's the thing is that I kind of can't do it. It's a different kind of muscle. It's a different kind of skill. You know, the muscles that you have to use for auditioning is different than the muscles you have to use when you're actually like actively doing it.
Right.
You know,
but I mean, I can't.
Some people are
believe-
great auditioners and they're freaking terrible.
I
you
can't
know?
believe this is becoming an acting seminar podcast.
Yeah,
but here we go. But that's a problem because you're not going to get a part unless you know how to audition.
Yeah, no fucking shit. So it's like,
I
so
mean-
cool. So you know what? I'm done. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into podcasting.
That's and
It's
listen,
even easier.
and you're very good at it, and you're very personable, and you have a very distinct voice. So yeah, I agree with all that. But that's a shame. I think you should audition. I think you'd be really good at it.
I'm terrible at it. I really am. Like, yeah. I'm
Let me
telling
know
you.
if you ever want to like go over sides or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I could,
like with your daughters? How are they doing? 50-50, right?
Oh man. Yeah, what else? You know, it's funny. For me, when I was a teenager, I went through a period where I hated. By the way, this is Jerry O'Connell. I was in Stand By Me when I was younger. We established that
was
earlier
husky.
in the podcast.
He was husky.
But There was a period a few years there where if people would call me the fat kid from Stand By Me, it would really make me angry.
Yeah.
It would make me angry.
Yeah.
And I mean, to the point where I'd want to fight people.
Mm-hmm.
And
You seem like a lover, not a fighter.
I remember I went to New York University and I was, I don't know, maybe a sophomore or something. And I was in a bar and I was there to meet a girl at the bar. And she was a drama student, beautiful, hot. And I met her there, and a guy came up to me in the bar and grabbed me and was like, "You were the fat kid. Here's the fucking fat kid from Stand By Me.
Everybody, look at this
Here he
fucking
is."
guy.
And he was grabbing me.
Look what I did.
And I was just trying to
Blend in.
be with this woman.
Yeah.
Actually, that was my with laser like focus. That was it. And this man kept grabbing me and saying that, and I was ready to fight. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, at that moment being like, I'm never gonna escape. This is never gonna. I'm never gonna escape this.
This is a forever thing. Yeah.
I can either, like, and you know what's funny now is that these days, if I do see that, I immediately say, "Let's do a selfie." Because I find that if people get the selfie, that's all they need. Uh-huh. So I immediately say, if someone goes, "Hey, fat kid from Stand By Me," and I can see they're being like a little aggressive, I'll be like, "Let's selfie this, man. Tag me, tag me, post it up."
You learn ways to like diffuse that kind of stuff. I mean, believe you me, everyone's doing the freaking Home Alone face to me and shit like that.
Right.
Like, you know, like, and they always want that. Usually, I don't do the selfie thing. I just say, "Here's a hug." You know what I mean? Hey, you got a hug from the kid from Home Alone. Okay, are we done?
Man.
And I've gotten really good at being blunt with people. Kind of just like, yeah, you're making me uncomfortable. Stop touching me. Okay,
that's
bye.
funny.
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't really get aggressive because I think that kind of keys people off a little bit. But I'm assertive and I know what my rules are. Like, if someone approaches me in the bathroom, I will tell them this is inappropriate. Like, you know, yeah, I have my dick in my hand. Stop talking to me about it.
Right.
But
because in bathrooms I encourage it. I always turn around.
Yeah,
and go,
is that?
"Hey, yeah,
Come to the stall with me.
that's me."
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Forget about a selfie. Let's do a video.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, that's funny. So
Yeah.
I guess that's funny. You're the fat kid from Stand By Me. Is people making the Home Alone face
yes,
to you?
of course. Yeah, no, that's an easy one. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess that would be.
Well, it could be annoying. Yeah, I mean, I went through the same kind of thing as you, like when I was a teenager and all those kind of things. And yeah, it was something that was annoying. But also, I think around then, like my contemporaries, age-wise, they were, you know, they were bigger dicks back then. You know, now that I'm in my, you know, like 30s, late 30s, like, yeah, everyone's kind of just chilled out. Like, everyone's an adult now, and so they at least approach me in a more adult kind of way. But yes, no, back then though, like, yeah, like back when I was, yeah, like in my late teens, early 20s, like, yeah, no, it was a burden. It was a burden that it was bothersome, and it would be embarrassing, you know, especially if you're going out on a date or something like that. You know, yeah, no, it's kind of just, it's not the good kind of embarrassing. Like, you know, yeah, it's not like people are being like flattering.
Yeah.
They're usually trying to they're trying to walk away with a story.
Right.
And what I learned is that you should make this, you're in charge of that social interaction. The thing is like, yeah, like they're more intimidated by you than the other way around. So it's like, as long as you control the action, it's cool. You can, I've learned all these like things where it's, you can say certain phrases or do certain things that end the conversation right away. You
like
say,
what?
Like, nice to meet you. Like, that's it. And they'll turn around and walk away and realize they didn't get their selfie, but they realize that like, oh, it's too late, you know, yeah. Or kind of like shake hands with them, kind of, you know, nice to meet you. Or at like restaurants, like, oh, you have a good meal. Oh, you too. And they just walk away. Like it's a knee jerk reaction. It's one of those things where I know it sounds like a reverse kind of thing, but if you say, you can get anyone to thank you by just saying, you're welcome. If you say you're welcome, 9 times out of 10, someone will just say thank you. So it's like, yeah, you can actually get a knee-jerk reaction out of people, even though it's like reverse. So it's like, yeah, you can kind of just say, oh, you know, nice to meet you. They're like, nice to meet you too. And then they're 6 steps away before they realize they didn't get what they wanted. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's how you diffuse it.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too. Oh, shit. Fuck. How much more time do we have on this podcast? Let's see. Oh, God. All right. God, we still got another half hour of this shit.
What else do we have in common? I guess LA's home for you now?
Yeah. I've been spending a lot more time out here. You know, got my lady, and my animals and all that stuff. Got my little businessy thing and my little podcast.
Yeah, good.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Website's up and running.
Yeah. It's freaking hilarious.
And I mean, I don't want to put pressure on you, but you are. I mean, you're, as you said, you're in your late 30s. I mean, kids, are they you not even thinking about them?
Oh no, we're talking about it and stuff like that. Yeah. Clean out my system, all that stuff. Gonna be quitting smoking soon, and like all those kind of things. Yeah, gotta make sure I get some clean sperm for her.
You'd be amazed at how having kids cleans up your act.
Yeah.
I will say this: I wouldn't go into it thinking you need to clean yourself up and then have kids, because having kids is extremely stressful, and you might need some of those things that help you
Keep smoking. Looking at you.
Well, help you relax.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to tell people to. I don't want to tell you to do things that are unhealthy, but there's obviously things you do to cope with the stresses of society.
Yeah, exactly. I drink wine and shoot zombies on my Xbox.
Sure.
Online.
But by the way, there's there's something very relaxing about both of those things that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it helps one cope with the stress of the world.
Yeah.
But you'd be amazed at how having kids makes you realize, oh man, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah, you don't need certain things.
And by the way, it's not a bummer.
No, of course not. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I had the most intense video game problem for decades.
What was it? What were your
It was
games?
mostly. It was a lot. It started off with 007.
The first-person
game.
shooters. Yeah,
And then it became first-person shooter games
like Halo,
with my
Call
dumb
of Duty.
friends. But it really culminated with Call of Duty, and it was every night, not 5 nights a week, not 3 nights a week, not weekends, every single night from 11 p.m. until about 3 to 4 a.m.
Yeah, at least looking at.
And then I would go to work the next day.
Yeah.
And
you'd be thinking about Call of Duty.
Dreaming of it, thinking about it. And it was about 7 of us that had a crew, an online crew, and we would go...
A clan.
Thank you. And we would go challenge other clans. And we were nationally ranked. And, I mean, I'm talking... years of my life, and when I had kids, I was still playing video games every night. I mean, when my wife told me she was pregnant, it's like a story that we have. I was wearing a headset and talking to someone.
Can this wait?
No, and I was like in the middle of like a capture the flag game or something, and I was like screaming like I have B. It's like a B. You have the B flag.
Yeah.
I have B. I have B, and my wife came in and said, I have to talk to you. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, listen, stop playing. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Tell me. And she said, I'm pregnant. And like, I was like, my friends were like, oh shit. Oh my God. And I was like, okay, hold on a second. Honey. Let me just finish this game.
Well, listen, I'll put it half on her. She had to do it right when you were holding the fucking flag. For real. It couldn't have waited like 2 minutes. Come on. That's on her. She was just, that seems like a test.
But it was funny. It wasn't until my kids were a little bit older that I was like, I've got to cut down on the video games. And you know what? What's crazy is like any other addiction. Oh, this is a terrible. This is going to really bum you out. Like any other addiction, it's like you can't just have one cigarette. There is no such. I mean, I know people. I know there are people who do that. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But you can't. You just can't do it.
I used to be World of Warcraft. And it was, like nearly like 6 hours a day. It's every day. There was one time where it was me and my lady, we were playing, and there was an earthquake. We were out here in LA. So I didn't even freaking realize. I'm not from LA, so I'm like, there's a freaking, like everything's just like moving in the house. She drops everything that she's doing. She picks up one of the dogs and runs to one of the doorways. And she's an earthquake. So I'm like, okay. And I take my laptop and run over to the doorway. She's like, grab the other dog. I'm like, no, we're in the middle of a dungeon. Like,
it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like.
So that does go out the window when you have kids.
I don't play as much as I used to, but but still, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and Had a couple glasses of wine and played some Left 4 Dead.
So amazing.
Yep. So I never saw the show, but you were in Sliders.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. How was
Science
that?
fiction show?
Yes.
It was great.
By the way,
Really fun to be a part of. Hey, you know what? Really fun to be a part of like a science fiction experience.
How many seasons did it run?
It ran for 5 seasons. I went to. I remember the first season. I went to a con. I had never gone to one.
And what year was this?
Oh man, 96, 97.
Oh wow, yeah.
I remember. Oh man, I didn't get paid. I wasn't paid to go. I was just going to like do publicity for the show.
Yeah.
And there were other people at the con who were like, "How much are you getting paid for this? How much are you?
It's like you get paid
how
for
much are you
this?"
getting?" And I was like, "You're getting like you get money for this?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm not getting anything." And they were like, "I don't believe you." And I was like, "I swear, like, how much are you getting?" And they told me, and I couldn't believe it.
I swore to myself from that day forward.
No, I
remember.
I remember thinking it was a show that not a lot of people had watched, and like I didn't like.
But it
Like,
has a rabid fan base, though.
I had been in shows that have been canceled before that, so I just didn't put much stock into anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I still kind of don't. You know, I couldn't believe walking around that con. How
I'm sure you were a fucking stud. Like,
how many people stopped me, and I couldn't believe it. And it was really at that time that I really realized like the power of like science fiction.
Yeah, it's
fan base.
it's rabid. Yeah.
You know, my wife,
My wife.
my wife,
Your special lady friend.
was Mystique in the X-Men films, and to watch her go to a con is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
One, she's an X-Men movie, and two, she's gorgeous.
Superhero movies are other level.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was in sort of like a cheaper science fiction. You know,
Yeah, I'm not sure if the effects still hold up.
right? No, I mean, like we just, it was just. I think they call it a genre, like a genre sort of show. Like it just means sort of like lower budget. Like, special effects for us was like if we had dry ice that day,
Yes.
And
fog
like,
machine.
Yeah, and even I was like, "Whoa, we have dry ice today. This is so cool.
It's crazy."
Let me touch it. It burns. But
we would always put it in bottles, like with I think water, and then get them to explode.
Right? Sure. Yeah.
Sure. I always did that with the sci-fi. I was talking about the sci-fi people and the stunt people because they're the freaking most hilarious.
Right.
So we have actually a surprise for you. It just showed up. Here,
it's food.
Yeah, it's sliders.
Oh, you ordered me sliders.
I ordered
amazing.
you a bunch of sliders
because I was in sliders. All right. Well, I should eat some of these. I guess.
I know. No, that's what they're here for.
That's amazing.
They're here for eating.
Just to paint a picture for everybody listening right now, Macaulay and Bunny Ears ordered me, Jerry O'Connell, star of the television show Sliders, a bunch of sliders that I'm opening.
Yeah, they're delicious. I've had them from this place before. They're great.
They do look great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
please
try one of these
indulge.
sliders.
Actually, it's a good time for a commercial break because I need to pee anyway.
Delicious.
So now we're back. We're still talking about sliders. Hey, everyone actually is really, really interested in sliders. Plug in 2 more mics for just the slider section because apparently Sean and Stu both have memories of both of their mouths are full of sliders right now. So now we're all plugged in. We got Sean and Stu, both friends of the show, and while we were taking our sliders break, we were talking about sliders, not the sandwiches, the actual show.
They are very delicious.
Right?
They're quite good.
I freaking warned you.
I am quite familiar with Sean and Stu. I heard them on last week's or the week before's podcast with Grace Helbig.
Oh, yeah.
That was me.
I also love
Sean. Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we were sitting around drinking champagne the whole time.
Super cute.
Yeah. No, they were
guys,
fun.
you have any sliders questions? Sock it to me.
I feel like this is just the weirdest transition. And now, 2 Sliders fans. Episode 4, season 3.
I do have to say to some people listening who may not know, Sliders was a science fiction show I did from 1996 to 2000. No. And it was about a group of people who traveled to parallel universes of Earth.
Yeah, you were saying it was kind of like a quantum leap-esque kind of
a little
thing.
like Doctor Who.
Got you.
You know.
But did you control where you guys went? Like, I mean, what was like the mission?
The mission was we we went into a parallel universe. Myself and my professor, played by John Rhys Davies, willingly,
Yep.
and then unwillingly, we brought two people who accidentally
Companions.
fell in as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the entire show, we were trying to get back home. But we kept going to different
So
universes.
that's a bit of quantum leap in there. Look
A
at me
lot
out.
of quantum
Yeah,
leap.
the last leap would be the leap home. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. Remember
Did
he
you,
was
did you
talking
guys
to
ever get?
Ziggy?
Did you guys ever get home? Spoilers. Or did you guys get canceled early?
We got canceled a little early. But
So they were like, "Shit, we got to come up with an ending real fast."
Right.
And where was it? Was it on Fox or what
it was on
it?
Fox for a few seasons, and then it went on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
Sci-fi before it was sci-fi.
Became one of the first sci-fi
Right.
shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before it was Sci-Fi, right?
Yeah.
No, I think they spelled it SYFY back then.
Maybe.
Oh
yeah.
no, maybe they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they didn't come to like the mid 2000s.
That was a rebrand.
Right.
That was
right.
no. So what I was pointing out when we were eating was that Sliders, into my memory, was one of the first major mainstream shows. If you don't count Doctor Who, which didn't really make it over here till the reboot years
Yeah, yeah.
later, where they really delved into the concept of parallel universes and alternate realities, and it wasn't time travel. It was like
Yeah, because that's quantum leap.
you're in
Yeah.
a whole new universe now with like its own history and its own past, present, and future. And
So you go like to just like a dystopia or something like that, or
yeah,
something
or
like
you
that.
go into a universe where the
Where, like-
Nazis won.
where,
or you
like,
go-
There
Or like,
was
yeah,
an
that's what I
episode
mean.
where that
That's why I
happened.
brought it up.
Yeah, where Trump is president. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not kidding you. We did an episode where Donald Trump was president.
Are you fucking
I'm
kidding
not
me?
joking.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up.
Yep.
Look
Yep.
it up.
Oh my gosh.
Look it up. It's the truth.
How did it work out?
They escaped, thank God.
yeah. We got to jump to a different reality. It was great.
I don't recall like verbatim what happened, but I remember it. It was not good. But I've got news for you. Not as crazy as it is today.
yeah. No. As soon as Trump got
Couldn't have
elected,
predicted.
Your
We're
writers just
doing
weren't
worse.
on
The writers are like, they can't get worse than this.
as soon as Trump won the election, I was like, this is not my universe. I am not Mac Prime.
Well, that's the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah. The
The whole
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any more sliders questions?
Yeah, sock it to me,
I just
guys.
remember-
What do you think of the sliders? Are they delicious?
The sliders were really good.
Yeah, good. My cats are trying to eat stews over there.
Should we start a podcast that's just Jerry reviewing different types of sliders? It's
Yeah.
just-
Maybe we should watch each episode and then just just talk about it.
No, I just want you to review actual sliders.
Oh, no, they're just burgers.
I just- every episode-
White Castle
And
sliders.
now a sliders break with Jerry O'Connell.
Right. I
Not
do have to
bad.
say this brioche bun that these sliders came on is quite
And the
delicious.
cheese, you got a little I think it's like Gruyere. And
Yeah.
got some caramelized onions
No,
in
this
there.
is
yeah.
It's a fancy slider.
This is a pretty fancy slider.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will say this.
All guests on the Bunny Ears podcast get sliders.
They are probably going to bring sliders back.
I was just going to
That's
say,
awesome.
It seems like we're due for that.
my
yeah.
nerdiest question would be, if they bring it back,
Yeah,
would
would you
you
do it?
want to be involved? Would
I
you want
would-
to pass the
Would you be
torch?
Jonathan Rhys Davies?
I would want to be involved,
yeah.
but that's not up to me. You
Well,
know
of
what I'm
course,
saying?
of
But no, I'm
course.
just saying if it
the
was
offer
if it was
came,
is there
are
any-
you-
is there
are you
any
like,
way?
you know what, I gotta-
Would you
I
be like
gotta
the
wait
mentor
for that.
character?
Well, you know what's really funny is
would you finally get resolution?
Would one of your daughters be in it, but not the other one?
I just want to hear
but not the one who can't act. You don't belong here. You don't got it. I told you this before.
You don't have it.
Go into that Into the Woods audition. You give it everything. We needed this money.
Look for Little Red Riding Hood.
You want to know what's funny is I recall when they redid. This is going to get really inside, and it's going to make me sound like a weirdo. But when they
Get inside.
because they've been rebooting everything. When they rebooted
Charmed, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
You know, I follow Alyssa Milano on Twitter and Holly Marie Combs, and
They weren't thrilled.
they were not,
and they were not happy about it. And I thought to myself, it's so interesting that they're not thrilled about it. And I followed the situation very closely because
Man, you have too
I
much
may-
time on your hands.
Well, I may be a part.
He's a dad.
I may be a part of a reboot, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's funny. I was like, because you sort of want. I want to figure out how I'm going to react.
Yeah.
When they tell me
Yeah,
I'm not.
would
involved with it,
they
you
have
know?
your blessing?
I mean, I gotta say,
It's not an instant yes.
And I gotta say, I love Holly Marie Combs, also a graduate of professional children's
Oh
school.
yes, she was too. Yeah, we're all colleagues.
And I love Alyssa Milano. Really worth the follow on social media.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Stay woke.
So
Hashtag stay woke.
So I tend to side with them, but I'm not as they're not afraid of saying what they feel, and I don't think I would be able to criticize. I mean, I would if I wasn't a part of it, I would love to write like, "Fuck you." Fuck this whole thing.
Wait until they
Don't
offer it to you.
don't you
or
know
not
who I
offer
You
it.
suck. I'm the fat kid from Stand By Me. You're all gonna. This is gonna fail. It's a copy of Quantum Leap. Doctor Who is better. Fuck you. I would love to say that, but I don't think I have the. I don't have.
you
but
just
they
did.
offered it to you.
Do you love to
I
say
don't
that?
have the courage.
Would you love to? Because is that really how you feel though? Do you really feel like, you know what, if I'm not involved, like that's the thing I started, so fuck off with the
First
idea.
of all, I know it's well above my pay grade. People making those decisions.
Sure. But in a
I
perfect
certainly
world,
can't be. I certainly can't be the star of it. You know, I mean, they don't.
Right.
Like, I'm too old for that.
But it would be nice
unless
to-
I start training with Devin.
When
Devin
Devin's
Sawa.
out.
Yeah. Just follow him around the
But
gym
it would be
more.
nice to be asked to the dance. Like, hey,
Of
show up
course.
in a couple scenes and teach the new kid how to jump through
Of
time.
course, but I don't have the courage that Holly Marie Combs and Alyssa Milano had.
You're not a strong, independent woman?
I mean, you know we're going to air
I don't
this.
have the. I don't have the courage. What? No. Wait a minute. Is this thing on? Is this thing? What's going on here? I don't think I'd be able to outwardly criticize anybody. I'm just, and also I'm not like. I'm not confrontational like that, you know.
I can tell. Yeah, no, you're
just not
You
my
seem really
thing.
soft and sweet. Like, yeah, looking at you. You're always smiling.
I mean, well, this is
Or
also.
you're just happy to see me. I
This
think.
is also
Yeah.
exciting for me. I mean, I'm in a apartment with a bunch of like hip people and
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can. Yeah. I
doing hip
dress
things.
hip. Yeah.
there are cats running around. I mean, this is
Yeah.
this is definitely the highlight of my day. So, I mean, I guess I could have walked in here like cooler, like, hey, what's up?
No, this is great.
No, you see you. Like, yeah, which is good. I like you.
I don't normally talk about sliders, but yeah, I mean,
I just assumed that it was an everyday thing.
it was a
like,
good run. It was a good run. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Stand By Me.
I just want to talk about sliders. Hey, have you guys tried these sliders with the Gruyere? It's great.
Well, that's the actor equivalent of I'm only playing the new songs, folks.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Glad I paid $60 to see the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
That's really funny.
I think there was a David Spade like one where it was like he went to a Big Country concert
Yeah.
and their big song was called Big Country.
Yeah.
And they refused to play it, and it was just like, for real. Hey, cat. Sorry, you heard my
attacking.
little noise. Okay, that's how I get him to stop doing things. That's why there's squirt guns all around the house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he's an asshole.
Oh, really? Do you do the squirt gun thing with the
Yeah,
cats?
I
That's
have
pretty
to.
good.
I have to with him. Man, that's one. There's one there. There's one there. There's one on each side of the bedside tables with me and the lady.
You could have a little more fun and get one of those shock collars. This just got controversial, everybody. Just
Put the little fence around the table.
your
like,
comment section.
I already
just,
Yeah,
feel
we're
Peter.
airing this episode.
Oh, yeah. By the way, this is live. You know that. How many dogs do you have? Because you said you had a cat.
too many dogs. Too many. I think we're over the legal limit. I have a wife who cannot stop adopting animals, but we got a bark collar, and before we put the collar on the dog, we decided to try it. I tried.
How's it working out with you?
We did not end up.
Oh yeah.
putting-
We're also by the way, we're gonna say goodbye to Stu and Shunks.
Oh,
We're
bye,
done
guys.
talking about sliders.
That was the
Bye.
science fiction portion. Thanks, guys. We ended up not putting the collar on the dog. It was too intense on me.
But did you actually try it?
I put it on my throat and I barked a number of times, and it finally got me. If I find the video, I will send it, and you can put it up on Bunny Ears.
Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Do it now before you forget.
And it's we ended up not putting it on the dog. It was too much.
What kind of dog is it?
It was a poodle.
Wait, you're talking in past tense.
Yeah, it's past now.
Oh, gotcha. So okay, gotcha. You adopting like older like
we have-
animals?
we have some
Hold
older
on,
dogs.
Hold on. This is what the kitty litter thing does. Look, it's spinning around. We get it actually all the time. Like sometimes we have to pause the podcast for it. But you see, it spins all the way around. It gets rid of the poop, and then it spins all the way back.
It really is like something out of 2001.
No, it really is. It's like a little pod.
The orb is now spinning.
It looks like one of those like chairs from the '60s.
It does.
Like those little pod chairs.
Yeah, it looks like something in that like JFK TWA.
And little guy loves it. It's his television. Like every time it spins, he'll drop whatever he's doing, whatever bad thing he's doing, and run over and just stick his head in there or just watch it. He's just like he's fascinated by the fact that his poop moves.
I know you guys think I'm loaded and have all that sliders money, but like I just need to ask all that Stand By Me money. I just need to ask, what does something like that Space Age Kitty Litter Orb 2000 go for? Is it
honestly? I have no idea. My lady bought it. She's like cat crazy. So, but I think it might be like in the $1,000 range. Like I mean, like for real. I think she actually like really invested in. Wow. She actually checks it all the time. She's always checking their poop. Like
That's
making
so
sure that they're
different.
pooping right. She's like, "Are you giving them chicken?" They're like, "Yeah." How do you know? She's, their poop seems a little chickeny.
$1,000 is so different than the 99 cents I spent on the plastic tub that my cat's currently go in.
I've never had one of these space age things before, but she is cat crazy. Like I said, I'm on like cat number 11 and 12 in my life right now, and she's never had them. So all she did was just Google things, and like I said, she looks up toys, she looks up cat litter boxes. So yes, guys, if you're hearing a humming in the background of this podcast at this moment, it is the litter box doing its thing, and it should stop any moment now. This is the best part.
So the litter box, this litter box is like between $300 and $600 depending on what model.
Gotcha. She just kind of, when I asked her how much it was, she just kind of made a face.
Yeah.
So I just assumed it was like $1,000.
It's more than a litter box.
Yes.
Like, if my mom bought a $600 litter box, my dad would leave her.
I know what we should really try and do is
Get more litter box.
Our next cat is try and get them to shit in the toilet.
I've thought about that, and like my guy, the one's too stubborn, the other one's such a jerk. Like so, it never happened.
I mean, I taught my kids to shit in a toilet. Why can't I teach?
Yeah, but you get touche. But also, you couldn't teach the other one how to audition either.
Man,
though.
let me tell you, you're gonna have kids soon, right? You're gonna have kids soon. I had one kid who would only shit when she took a bath. And it was a crazy
In the
few
tub?
months. Oh, she would say
like warm water, and then
she'd go, "Daddy,
nugget.
bath," and I go, "Okay," and I'd say, "Are you gonna shit in this bath?" And she'd go, "No," and I'd be like, "Because if you gotta shit, I'll take you to the toilet right now." She'd go, "No, bath," and I put her in the bathtub.
And next thing you know, there's a floating nugget.
And then I'd see her make a face, and I'd be like, "You're not shitting, are you?" And she'd be like, "No." And then
Floating nugget.
you would see
Dookie.
you would see it in there. And then I have another daughter who would be like, "Out, get me out!" And it's amazing
I
how
love how they're both in the tub at the same time. All of a sudden,
humans. It's so funny. Snakes and shit. Humans like it. I never sat down and went, "Hey, girls, stay away from shit. It's gross. Don't like you instinctively know to just stay away from it."
Yeah.
And snakes.
That's
too.
why it smells bad.
If we ever see a snake, my kids are always like, "Oh God, snake!" And I never like showed them a picture and went, if you see a snake, get away. It's really amazing, and we had to actually like run baths for her, hold her, watch her about to shit, and then run
And then
over
pick
to
her up and put her on the- put her on the
over to
potty?
the toilet. Yeah, they were young. They were like 9.
So this is the past year. Like,
we watched. There's a television show. We watch a lot of reality television. My wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
There's a show pretty amazing called 90s, The Deadliest Decade.
ooh.
And it's usually a murder. The requirement to be a storyline in 90s, The Deadliest Decade is that it has to be a murder,
Like a true crime kind of thing.
a murder, sex has to be involved. That happened in the 90s.
So it was like SVU throwback.
But they did the, we really thought of you because they did the Michael Alec story.
Oh, there you go.
And for those who don't know who are listening, Mack
Played Michael Alec in Party
portrayed
Monster
Michael Alec. It was a famous murder in New York in the 90s.
during the club scene and
in
everything.
the club scene, and it was called Party Monster.
Yeah.
And you were terrific in it.
Oh, thanks. So you're the one who saw it.
Hey, listen, a lot like Sliders, that movie still to this day.
Stuck with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say it's a classic film.
Well, that was my first gig in like 8 years or something like that. And I kind of just just acted really like stupid, like, you know. But I mean, I kind of just went for it, kind of thing. Like I actually didn't even know what I was doing. I just did it. Like, you know.
Is that true? It was your first job in 8 years when you did that?
Yeah, first gig. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did some theater in London, I think about a year earlier, but no, it's my first movie in about 8 years at that point. Okay.
And you never went down the TV road, huh?
Not really, no. No, you know, I had some offers when I was younger and so forth, like, you know, to do like Roseanne and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
but no, I was, you know, the film stuff kind of just took off real fast. Like, I actually didn't even do a lot of commercials. You know, I think I did a Dr. Pepper one and a macaroni and cheese one, and next thing you know, I booked Home Alone. Then I didn't have to audition anymore. You know.
Yeah, you know what's funny for me is, and I don't want to make this like just about child actors. I'm so sorry if people are like,
No.
enough
This is also about
this.
Sliders and your wife.
Well, I'm not worried about you and I talking about this. I'm worried about people being like, "Oh fuck, there they go again, talking about being child actors."
Whatever.
Boo hoo. God, I'm so like comment conscious. You know, I just don't want to like open up my phone and just have like, yeah, you and Mac just complaining about making millions as kids. Fuck you. What's funny for me is I was in Stand By Me, and that was like my first job.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, like I didn't work for a few years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, you were almost unrecognizable after you started working again.
and
too.
I started doing commercials again, and that's what sort of got me back into the swing of things. So it's so funny. I had like a reverse career almost,
Gotcha.
you know?
Because I mean, like, Stand By Me is so freaking iconic and so just. I mean, it's pretty close to a perfect movie.
Oh,
Look,
man.
yeah.
Have you rewatched it lately?
It's been a couple of years, but I have watched it a couple of times as an adult, and I'm telling you, it's pretty perfect.
I tried to show it to my children when they were auditioning for Into the Woods and be like,
Dude, do
let
more
me
of
show
this.
you,
Do
let me show
more
you
of
who
this.
has it and who doesn't.
So, watch the fat kid. He's great.
And they, of course, because they only watch YouTube now, like were bored within 5 minutes. And also, my kids are a little slow, but
My kids are just terrible. They poop in the tub. They don't know what they're doing.
right. I tried to show it to them, and they were bored after 5 minutes. And I watched the whole thing, and it's about as good as movies get.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. So, how was Corey Feldman?
I had talked to him a lot. I don't know.
What about Will Wheaton?
I talked to him a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He seems cool.
He's great, man. He's
Yeah.
really Will is.
I like how
super
he's
funny.
embraced being Will Wheaton. Like,
He's
you know,
just he just gets it, and he just gets it. And you know, it's so funny because he's also part of that Star Trek universe, but he's also like a connoisseur of not only all things Star Trek, but all things.
like kind of pop culture, sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
I don't think geek is a derogatory
but-
term.
no, but yeah.
He's like all things geek. He
loves the convention life. It seems like.
Well,
you know,
he's
yeah.
almost like the patriarch of it.
Yes.
He was doing it when it was still really uncool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's just like the patriarch of that scene. So I stay in touch with those guys. I stay in touch with Kiefer Sutherland, who was in Stand By Me. I had a wonderful time making Stand By Me. It was almost like this dream-like time, you know? It was like a summer camp, you know? I mean,
a bunch of kids, like, you know, working with a bunch of kids your age.
Yeah.
And working on like a, you know, high end, you know, like actual movie.
It was a group of us. No, but it was a group of us. I don't know how your experience was in working in things as a kid, but when you were with other kids, it was like a party, you know?
Well, that was the thing with me. I never worked with kids.
were by yourself.
I was always either by myself,
Yeah.
or I was working with adults.
Right.
That go. It was kind of a curse. Yeah. So like, it wasn't until I did like the movie Saved when I was in my 20s that I actually had like a cast that was my age, and even then, like it was like I was actually older than them at that point.
But now it's all about those. it's all about the cast.
And honestly, that's the only thing I really kind of miss really about doing gigs is the camaraderie. Yeah, and it's like it seems like you actually had a pretty tight thing going on that gig.
I'm sorry to get like all agenty and everything, but you don't get sent like. There's no interest in you and possibly a project or something to come in and meet with people?
There is and stuff. It just it's not something I'm necessarily pursuing in any kind of active way. So it's kind of just listen. I got a nice house, got a nice girl, got some nice cats. I'm really kind of happy with where I am right now. It's the kind of thing that like I said, I don't pursue. But at the same time, gigs come up, I'll explore it.
To get back to your podcast last week. Were you joking that your brother was on it, or was he really on it?
No, Kieran?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on it.
Okay, good.
Because he was a big Toe Jam and Earl fan.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to follow along with. But
yeah. It just came out, when we were recording this last Friday and stuff. Actually, I have a bunch of the original concept art.
So crazy.
Yeah, my lady just framed them all and everything like that. But
it was crazy to hear how long ago it's been.
Yeah.
I mean.
No shit. It's So when we're huge fans, especially my buddy Stu over there. We have drinking games to it and everything like that. And so So when we decided to actually do this project, one of our weird bucket list things was we have to meet the creator of Toe Jam and Earl. And next thing you know, we're up there at their studio and they're making a new one. And now I'm technically a producer on it. There's a Bunny Ears Games liner in the opening credits and stuff. And there's even I'm an executive producer on it and everything.
What does that? Do you have to go and yell at people and stuff? What does that entail?
Nah. I came in late in the game. I'm the caboose producer. I'm bringing up the rear. That was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, Kieran was on that. I finally got him on there. Although he didn't know how to hold his mic because he was doing this. He kept on going in and out. I was kept on going, put the mic in your mouth, man. Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth with Macaulay Culkin.
Well, I actually got the tutorial before I got here to hold
yes.
it close.
You kept on just saying, hey, man, put it in your mouth. You still haven't done it yet. Well, we'll see. We'll get a picture. Yeah, have some that's right.
More bite of slider.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have to say this is the first time anyone has sent me a slider. Being the guy from Sliders, but it's really funny. I mean, people should, if I'm in a bar and they see me, send me sliders. And
fuck yeah, go for it, guys. You hear this? If you see Jerry O'Connell at a bar, throw him a slider.
Sorry, is that true? No one has bought you sliders.
Wait, are we the funniest people in the world? We're the first people who fucking thought of this.
It was really original. It really was. I mean,
up top, dude.
I know,
we did
right?
it.
We fucking did it.
It was really original. It was really. It was. I was really impressed.
We fucking did it.
Oh, you know what's so funny?
I'll
tell you a funny Corey Feldman child actor story.
Go on. You had me at Corey Feldman. Go ahead.
I can pinpoint the first time I ever felt jealousy in my life, and I was in Stand By Me. It came out. It was this big hit. It seemed that everyone in Stand By Me had was becoming. River Phoenix had become a huge star. Will Wheaton was on Star Trek.
Yeah.
And Corey
he was
Feldman,
doing Toy Soldiers. I love that movie.
Toy Soldiers, exactly.
Love that fucking movie.
Look it up, everybody.
Yeah.
About a kid who defends his boarding school.
Yeah. A
from
group of kids at a boarding school, a bunch of high schoolers. Yeah. Sean Astin's in it too. It's great.
Taken over by Chechen terrorists or something.
Yeah. It's great.
Boarding school.
Yes.
Exactly. I heard it in boarding school.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's your producer right there.
Yeah.
And I went with a group of my friends to go see Lost Boys. And the movie came out in the summer, if I recall. And Corey Feldman was in Lost Boys with Corey Haim. God rest his soul. I remember leaving the theater and my friends being like, hey, man, that's the guy from Stand By Me. And I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. And my friend's saying, well, why are you in that movie, man? You should be in that movie. And I remember literally walking out of that theater thinking, why am I not in that movie?
Yeah, why aren't I? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene where, this is going to get really, I've never verbalized this. I need help. There was a scene where Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were riding bicycles.
Mm-hmm.
My friends and I all rode bicycles. And they were obviously not God rest everybody's soul who I'm talking about, but they were not that adept. They were not
They
that
were not
good at riding
a
bicycles.
bike.
And you could tell in the scene. And one of my friends went, man, they can't even ride bikes. Like, you should have been in that movie. Why aren't you in that movie?
Because
and
you can ride a bike.
Mac, I remember obsessing over the fact that I was a better bike rider than them, and therefore I should be in Lost Boys. And I want to tell you, that's a thought I had up until recently.
Jesus.
And I want to tell you, that's like jealousy, man. That's like envy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's not a healthy thought. That's not a healthy thought to continually go over in your head.
we have to do a Lost Boys remake, just the bicycle scenes.
But if you see, I mean, just to let you know how unhealthy it is, if you see an image of Lost Boys, Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, if you see any of those
Edward
things,
Herman.
if you see a vampire, the first thought you think is,
bicycles.
I'm a better bike rider than Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I should be
Corey Haim right now.
I should be in that movie.
Yeah.
That's not healthy, man. That's not a healthy train of thought.
So you should actually be working with your kids on riding bikes right now. Yes. I think that's the path to childhood stardom. They can transition from Into the Woods to vampire
But it was
movies.
funny. I wonder if that's like a child actor thing, like jealousy. Like I just don't get jealous. I don't give a shit about cars or like
But just bicycles.
people who ride bikes and ride a better bike. It should be me on that bike path. I should be on that face path. That should be me. I'm going to Holland. I'm going to show them how to ride bikes.
It's such a sincere, vivid memory that you just gave us.
What are you doing now? What are you working on?
What's up? What you working on now? What you got?
Well, I was just
Sliders?
It was going to be this podcast, which is
Just this? Yeah.
no. I work on a television show called Carter, which shoots up there in Toronto, and I'm currently up for a Canadian Screen Award, lead actor in a dramatic series,
All the way up in Canada?
Yeah,
Nice.
up against Eric McCormick.
Nice. Nice guy.
He's going down.
He's going down. I'm rooting for you.
No, I'm doing a show called Carter. It's a funny TV show. It's I mean, it's what we call a procedural in the business.
Yeah.
Like a murder happens in the beginning,
Like
and
a
then
CSI, NCIS kind of
just
deal.
like that. But what we call a blue sky procedural. So it's not as dark as some of those CSIs or
So SVU. No, I'm kidding.
SVU is a darker.
That is very rapey.
because that is sex victims unit.
Yes.
So like NCIS.
It's a little lighter along those lines.
Yep.
I actually
like Jag. Like Jag.
Like Jag. I think Jag was actually a little darker.
Oh, really? All right.
I think. I'm not quite sure.
I never watched Jag. All right, gotcha.
but-
we reveal so many things on this podcast.
But it's
like
about-
Jerry O'Connell doesn't watch Jag.
I'm sorry to say I've never seen an episode.
I mean,
Shout out to all those Jaggers.
yeah.
I assume that's what the fan base is called, Jaggers.
If it isn't, they should be.
Right.
now. I mean,
Yoggers.
I might even start a blog where I just like blast through the whole series. No, it's about a guy who is like sort of a cheesy actor in one of those shows. Think of like a David Caruso type from
like Mark
CSI.
Harmon or something like that.
Well,
yeah.
actually, more intense. Like,
gotcha.
Think like David Caruso in like
okay,
CSI
okay,
Miami,
yeah.
like someone who like is really
Takes off the
into
glasses.
it, right?
Yes, gotcha.
And he moves to a small
Batman.
rural town in Canada, and he thinks he can tell the police how to solve crimes using techniques he's learned over decades in procedural television.
That's actually pretty good.
It's pretty funny, man.
That's pretty good.
And actually, does he turn out to be actually a good detective?
Well, of course. Otherwise,
yes,
it
of course.
wouldn't-
Honestly, it's just a terrible detective.
No, I mean, like, it's just like there's just very funny scenes. I find it to be really funny where, like, I explain to the police, like, we're entering the fifth act, and this is where there's going to be some sort of twist. And I know you guys think it's this person, but it can't be because it's too obvious. It's got to be this other
exactly.
person. And then
It's the butler. It's always the butler.
they all disagree with me, and then they all tell me I'm crazy, and not everything's like television. Then it turns out that I'm right,
That's
and they
really
like can't
cute.
believe it. Yeah, it's
That's a
really
really
funny.
cute concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It really is fun.
Sounds super meta. That's like a really meta concept.
That
Sounds like
is-
you're really like it's a lot of nods to like
You know what's
TV
funny
writing.
is a lot of people were dropping that meta bomb, and it's funny. I didn't, because Community always talked about being meta. I didn't want to like jump in on their meta train.
Yeah, but it is very much.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah, there's a self-awareness to it that seems, that sounds adorable. Now I want to watch it. I should watch some television, guys.
You don't watch any of those stream things?
Not really. No, I watch like history things on YouTube, and that's about the extent of my entertainment watching. I'm learning about how Prussia became Germany, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, like,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Hey, Germany loses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, once again, like you don't like get into like.
I hate movies. I hate television shows. That's why, you can see why I don't really do this stuff. Like
That's
anywhere.
so funny.
I can't tell you how many movies I walk out of. Like unless they're Marvel movies, I love those things because I'm a comic book guy. But otherwise,
right.
I'm actually looking forward to. We already got midnight tickets to Captain Marvel. I know that's a couple of weeks ago by the
Right.
time this airs, but yeah.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. You don't watch any of those like Daredevil or Punisher shows?
I
or
watched the
anything?
first season of Daredevil. I'm kind of a little behind, but I'm a binge watcher also. Like I watched the whole season in one day, kind of thing. Like
And you don't do The Office or anything like
I watch
that?
The Office. But I used to be more of a, but I know the last season of Game of Thrones is coming up, so I'm planning on binge watching the first 6 seasons or 5 seasons or whatever it is, and then watching it in real time with everybody else. Just because my lady's a big fan, so
Right.
So I'm doing it for her.
I'm going to admit something on this show that's
You don't watch it?
going to blow everyone's minds.
I have never seen Sliders.
I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, me neither. Me not either.
And there's a part of me that I want to wait till I can't really show it to my kids now because there's like too much like
Sexy
I don't even
times?
care about the beheading. It's like the graphic sort of sex stuff that I can't sit there with my kids and watch,
I would just turn to them and stare at them as they watch the screen.
I watched one scene. I remember I watched
YouPorn.
one scene when my kids were really young, and the good-looking dude who now doesn't have a hand was having sex with the pretty one who was sitting on the throne from behind, and then a kid comes in the window.
Oh, there's the pilot.
And the kid comes in the window and sees them having sex, and then he pushes the kid out the window.
That's the pilot. Yeah.
And I was watching it, and my kids are like, ah, 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 ah. And my wife was like, "What is happening?"
They're
And
like,
I'm like,
bathtub.
and I was like, "Honey, this is crazy." He was doing it from behind, and then the kid comes up, and then he pushed the kid out the window. And she was like, "You can't watch this shit in front of the kids."
Yeah.
And it really fucked my kids up. Just because, when they watch shows and they didn't know what was happening because it was like sex from behind, and then it was like a kid, so they were finally like, "Oh gosh."
They didn't understand missionary though.
They were like, "Oh gosh, well, there's a kid. At least maybe this is a kid show." Then they were like, "Okay, maybe this is like one of the kids shows we watch." And then the guy pushes him out the window. And is that why the guy's in a wheelchair the rest of the time? Because he pushed him out the window?
Oh, okay. See, spoiler alert. Jeez. You just said you never even watched it.
But I'm definitely.
They have wheelchairs in Game of Thrones?
I think there is a.
All right.
There is a para.
They're made out of. They're made out of
wood?
dragons. Yeah, they're dragons.
Yeah, they're
dragon
just
bones.
dragons. Yeah,
It's just dragon bones. They just cart them around in upside down dragons. It's like the Flintstones.
Oh,
you should check
gotcha.
the show out.
It's a living.
Really,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I'm really looking forward to catching up on that show. I have a feeling I'm going to really
That's
like
what
it.
I'm planning on doing. I'm about to start binge watching it.
I do
The
have to
lady,
say,
she wants to rewatch it too.
I was someone who was very late to the Walter White party.
Breaking Bad.
Very late to that party, and I waited till the last season, and I watched the whole
Yeah, it's
show
because it's
before the
compelling.
last season.
Yeah, because it's just
and then watched the last season. I mean, not even DVR'd, live.
Yeah,
like it was
week to week. Yeah.
like an hour before the show in front of the television. Everyone shut up, go to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
lock the doors, turn the phones off, and let's watch this live. Mm-hmm. And it was
Talking Bad. You'd watch Talking Bad afterward. No, I'm kidding. That's a show that doesn't exist.
No, I know. I know. It's so funny. Those talking shows after dramatic shows take me out of it.
Yeah, I'm not really I don't really do that. I mean, I don't really watch Walking Dead either, but I mean, yes, it's kind of just like.
Do they have a Game of Thrones one? I don't think so.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
you want to do it?
Well, listen,
You
man,
in?
I don't think you can because Game of Thrones is real life.
It's
History.
historical.
I want to show Game of Thrones to my children to teach them about the world. Yeah, and what happened.
How it got flat.
About doing it from behind. Yes.
And this is how the world got flat, kids.
Oh man.
But
Thrones.
yeah, we should probably wrap it up. But you, do you have any like social media? I mean, what's your Facebook?
I have social media.
What's your Facebook page?
I don't have Facebook. I'm so sorry. I
Damn
promise
it.
next presidential election, I'll get on there.
Yeah, what's your
My social media is at Mr. Jerry OC. It's nothing that compelling. I mean, I know people are supposed to come on here and be like, "Hey, man, follow me, hit me up on all these things."
I just always give people an opportunity to plug their shit. You know.
It's just like shirtless selfies of myself.
Nice.
Really,
All right, cool.
Just
sounds like Devin Zawa's page.
no, actually, his is compelling if you follow him on Twitter. He
No, fuck that guy.
no,
No,
he's,
I'm kidding.
he's compelling on Twitter. He like writes.
No, he's a sweetheart. Like yeah.
I'm
No, he's a
actually,
friend of the family. Yeah.
He also lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He lives about 3 exits over as well.
Oh, really? I thought it was like Pasadena or something. You know?
No, he's out that way.
Oh, there you go. You got like an Insta or anything
Yeah,
like
I
that?
have an Instagram.
Yeah?
It's
Is you get pictures
Mr.
of kids?
Jerry OC. Yeah, I put pictures of my kids. It's so
Like,
funny.
just a floating dookie.
Somebody was talking about not putting photos of their children on Instagram. And I was like, oh man, I always put photos of my kids on Instagram. Am I a terrible parent? But I just do.
Yeah, just ask them for them to be kidnapped. Yeah.
I really have no other life. I'm kidding, but I'm not. Like my kids.
Although, like, you know, they're
This podcast is like the highlight of my day. Like I don't race cars or anything.
yeah.
I don't have a jet ski hobby.
You just go work out every once in a while with Devin Sawa, and you know, yeah.
I don't even work out. I watch him work out, and I usually get
go,
one of those
wow,
milkshakes.
he's really good.
And I sit on a ball and I watch him
He'd sit
lift
on
a
one of those
lot of
bouncy
weight.
balls.
He lifts a lot of weight, that guy, man.
Yeah, no, believe me, he picked me up. Like, he actually picked me up over his shoulders and spun around and everything like that. Believe me, I had to like pat him on the back. Like, all right, big boy, like come on, like.
But that's it. Yeah, I'm on social media, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And your
I hope
show's
to-
Carter, which it sounds freaking fantastic.
I hope to be invited back here. I think,
Absolutely, I think that this would be great.
I think I'd prove myself as a pretty good guest.
Yeah, I think no, honestly, one of my faves.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
right. That's right. Because you let me call you chubby, but you look great now.
It only took me 30.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're therapists. We're therapists.
30
You know, yeah.
How many years? 33, 34 years.
Yeah.
That movie we made that movie 34 years ago.
Jeez, gosh, I was only 4.
Crazy.
Crazy. Well, you know, that's life.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
All right, thanks for listening to the Bunny Ears podcast. Yeah, you can call our phone number. Sean, what is it again? I always forget.
845 Easy E Hoax.
Easy E Hoax. Leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, leave us a voicemail.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
play.
Jerry, you should leave us a voicemail.
I'm
Yeah,
going to.
845 Easy E Hoax.
Yeah,
Leave a
yeah.
voicemail. We play them after the show right about now.
About now. Yeah, exactly.
We're always getting voicemails. 845 Easy E Hoax. I said it's 845 Easy E Hoax. It might sound dumb, but it's not a joke. It's 845 Easy E Hoax. Voicemail.
I'm stuck in a fucking hotel for work at 3 in the morning and saw you had a new phone number message, so I called you. Fuck you. Eat a dick, suck a dick, take some pics. Later.
Macaulay, you were great on Cinemassacre. Get together with James again. That was awesome.
Honestly, man, I just wish that asshole band Velvet Underground would stop ripping you off. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm leaving a message on your phone. I'm so excited. Anyways, this is Lacey. I'm definitely a huge fan of yours. Watch your movies for years. Funny thing is, I actually was supposed to be going to Chicago tomorrow, but my freaking flight was canceled. I plan to go to the McAllister home and take a picture in the snow. Crap for me. But oh well. I'll look forward to watching your movie again this holiday. Anyway, take care. We love you. Bye.
I am secretly a carrot.
Hey, Devin. Mack.
It's Kate in Lincoln City, Oregon. And I was just calling to say, buy me, gag me, take me to the bunny ranch.
Find
Thank
me,
you.
gag me, take me to the bunny ranch.
You are freaking lumberjack!